Hello Year 10, this is lesson 2 of your video game unit. Today we're going to be focusing on audience appeal. So our learning objective is to demonstrate an understanding of the gameplay and appeal of Fortnite, and we're going to be focusing on the ways in which Epic Games, that's the developer of Fortnite, how they target their audience. Your first task, I'd like you to pause the video here and make either a bullet point list or a mind map of what you think makes a video game successful. Why do people play video games? If you are already quite knowledgeable about Fortnite, you could also have a think about what do you think made Fortnite successful. So pause the video here, complete the task, and when you're ready, press play. So hopefully you've got some ideas now of what you think makes a video game successful. What I'm going to go through for you now are 5 ingredients for a successful video game. Now these aren't official, these aren't the actual 5 ingredients that people use. They're more of a guide, but these are the kinds of things that developers think about when they're making a video game in order to be successful. So, challenge. It has to be challenging or else the audience would get bored. So I should say, could you note these down please? So challenge has to be challenging or else the audience would get bored. Choice. Gamers like choice to make decisions for themselves and this affects how the game proceeds. Aesthetics. Gamers like their graphics and the overall design to look good. Rewards, so all gamers want to achieve rewards, leveling up, trophies, a place on a leaderboard, or help with elements of the game. And narrative, games should have a good story. Even Candy Crush has got a story. This will include great character settings and storylines. So those are your 5 ingredients of successful video games. If a video game can do all of these things, then the rules say it should be a success. So if you could make a note of those, pause the video if you need a bit more time, and when you've done that, press play and continue. Okay, there's a short video for you to watch now. If you search in YouTube, what is Fortnite Game Informer, then this video will be the top result. This video is from the developers of Fortnite, so it's made by Epic Games, and they are talking about the game before it was released. What's interesting here is that they focus on the game mode that's now known as Save the World, which originally was all Fortnite was going to be. If you're familiar with Fortnite, you'll know that actually everyone plays Battle Royale, and that's why it's so popular. But this video, at this point, the developers, I'm not sure if they even knew that that was what they were going to be doing. So if you watch this, think about those 5 ingredients for a successful game, and at this stage, just think about what does Fortnite have? What are they saying that would meet these 5 key ingredients for their game to be successful? So watch the video, make notes as you're watching it. So you probably want to pause the video here, and when you're ready to come back to it, continue. Okay, I'm going to give you some ways that Fortnite meets these 5 ingredients now. My examples will be using the Battle Royale mode. Again, if you know Fortnite well, you might have got some of these things down as well. If you don't know it that well, please just make sure you make a note of these under the 5 ingredients that you've listed. So, yeah, again, pause the video if you need more time. I'm going to run through them quite quickly and just note these down. So in terms of challenge, you have things like the fact you've got to go and get tools and weapons. You have to search for resources to build structures, beating the storm circle and surviving until the end of the Battle Royale. Choice, who to cooperate with, whether you play single player, duos or within a squad, what you do with the tools that you find, what you decide to build, whether you stay out of the storm or fight, choose where you eject from the battle bus at the beginning, in the Battle Royale, skins, what they wear, what weapons to pick up and use because you've got limited space in the backpack, and whether to complete challenges or not. For aesthetics, we've got bright colours, build your own forts, allowing the gamer to feel creative. So for rewards, you have weapons, tools, being the last survivor, experience, V-Bucks, respect, from other players. Some of these things you might not be aware of, like V-Bucks, experience. Talk about those in later lessons, I think, but those are some of the rewards you might get from playing the game and competing. And finally, narrative. You are the hero. So if you think of props narrative theory, your character is the hero. Other players are the villains. You're competing to be the last player alive, and you land on an island in a battle bus and have to build and fight from there. So it's almost like you're creating your own narrative in Fortnite. Okay, so make sure you've got those noted down before you move on. Okay, so another video for you to watch now on Bartle's taxonomy of game player types. So Richard Bartle completed some research on the different types of video game players, and they are either killers, achievers, socializers, or explorers. Those are the four main game player types that Richard Bartle found. Please watch this video. If you search for Bartle's taxonomy, what type of player are you, you will find this video. It's about 6 minutes long. It was created for video game developers, so from your perspective, you should be listening to how this advice is trying to inform how people develop games. So the reason why Bartle has found these four different types of video game players, and the reason that video game developers talk about it is so that when they make their video game, they know that they can appeal to different gamer types by including different things. So your task is pause this video, watch the Bartle's taxonomy video, and make notes on the four different types of players. Again, if you have no interest in video games, this will hopefully help you to see why video games are the way they are, what's included in them and why. If you are into video games, then have a think about what type of player are you? Which one do you fall into? Okay, so take the time you need to do that, and when you have finished watching the video and making your notes, please continue. Okay, a little task now. From the video, you've probably seen this. So this grid that Bartle created. The question I would like you to think about is, how has Epic Games developed Fortnite to appeal to the different gamer types in Bartle's taxonomy? So by now, from watching that video that introduced Fortnite and talking through the way Fortnite met the 5 ingredients, you should know some of the different things that you do in Fortnite, some of the ways that the game is played. So I'd like you to think about, how does it appeal to the killer player type, the achiever player type, the socializer player type, and the explorer player type? If you could draw up a grid like this, and then in each square, write down the different things that the game does in order to appeal to that player type. If you spend about 10 minutes on this, again, pause the video, take the time you need. But for example, if you were looking at achiever, think about things like, the competitive element of being number one, the one person who survives. The killer, think about that as well. How it's very similar. In fact, that might go somewhere like here, somewhere in the middle of these two, because the killer is going to want to win. They're going to want to defeat everyone else, and the achiever is going to feel that sense of achievement when they are number one. And they're getting experience and rewards for doing that, for being the last survivor. So, yeah, plot, you can put, they don't necessarily have to fit up here in the box. They could be somewhere in the middle and appeal to different gamer types as well. So have a think about that, plot it out, pause the video, and when you're ready to continue, please do so. Okay, so finally, I would like you now to bring it all together and answer the following question. Epic Games with Fortnite has developed a game specifically designed to appeal to Bartle's 4 gamer types. To what extent do you agree with this statement? So you know the 4 gamer types: killers, achievers, socializers, and explorers. You are going to write about whether you think Fortnite was created with those 4 gamer types in mind to appeal to all types of gamers. So your response should include whether you agree, disagree, or partially agree with the statement, reference to the elements of gameplay that appeal to each of the 4 types, use of keywords, and use of evidence from the game. So you need to use everything we've talked about in this lesson and bring it all together. Remember, the more terminology you can use, you should specifically be mentioning Bartle's 4 player types in order to write a really good response to this question. So pause the video now, take 15 minutes to write your response, and then you're going to self-assess it. Okay, so self-assessment, fairly straightforward. I'd just like you to read back through your answer and give yourself a set of ticks. So 4 ticks if you've included everything, 3 ticks if you've missed one element, so on and so forth. So you need to read back through your answer and decide, have you stated whether you agree, disagree, or partially agree or disagree with the statement? Have you referenced the elements of gameplay that appeal to each of the 4 player types? So have you mentioned things that Fortnite does to appeal to those different types? Have you used keywords? So have you mentioned Bartle's taxonomy? Have you mentioned the actual player types like a killer, socializer, achiever, explorer? And have you used evidence from the game to back up the points that you're making? Okay, so give yourself a series of ticks, see how you've got on, and now we're going to review our key facts from today's lesson. So the key facts you should now know are the 5 ingredients of a successful video game. They are challenge, choice, aesthetics, rewards, and narrative. Bartle's taxonomy of game player types are killer, achiever, socializer, and explorer. You should now know how Fortnite's gameplay and graphics meet the 5 ingredients of a successful video game. And you should also know how Fortnite appeals to the game player types of Bartle's taxonomy. Also, it just occurs to me, thinking about the 5 ingredients of a successful video game: challenge, choice, aesthetics, reward, and narrative. Aesthetics, I'm not sure if we all know what that term means. So just to make it clear, aesthetics are all about how the game looks. Okay, so it's graphics, style, the design of the world. That's your aesthetics. So again, you should have noted down with Fortnite that that's the colours, the bright colours, and the graphics, the cartoony graphics that it uses. Okay, thank you guys, and I will speak to you in lesson 3.